Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, welcome. Friday evening services. Bethel Congregation in Baltimore, welcoming those joining us here in the Gorn Chapel. Of course, those joining us online tonight as well. Starting our Kabbalat Shabbat service on page 12 with Yedid Nefesh, page 12. First of the 6 psalms that comprise the core section of Kabbalat Shabbat on page 22. On page 24, third line from the bottom. Toward the bottom of page 26, or Zarua, bottom of 26. Toward the middle of page 28, Zamru Ladonai Bechinor. Toward the bottom of page 30, Romamu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Ki, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. 6 Psalms for the 6 days of the week, leading us to the 7th day Shabbat, the 6th of the 6 Psalms on page 34. Shabbat Shalom. And from song to song.
How sweet it is to come together and sing a song in the praise of God. Inemato umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Umevorach, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll pause now, remembering with reverence the sites of our beloved departed observed until sundown this evening, the 17th day of Cheshvan. Louis Book, Stephen Christie, Louis Isaac Cohen, Jacob Dardick, Harry DeBruin, Bess Stein Fish, Pearl Foxman, Keith Grant, Ida K. Harris, Paul Huddles, Libby Kirshner, Bernard Klein, Philip Ram Macht, Mary Monfred, Arlene Sagel, Lenore Rena Spirovsky, Alan Scher, Gilda Schumann, Irvin Sober, Jane Sussman, Elizabeth Taman, Samuel Willen. Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May their righteous memories continue to bring blessing into all of our lives. Together saying to that, Amen. Solemn testimony to that unbroken chain of faith that links us one generation to the next. Those in mourning, those observing Yahrzeit, will you please rise? Mourner's Kaddish, page 124. Page 124, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute. Chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach la'olam v'lamei al-maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nachemata, damiran v'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'imrumav, huya aseh shalom. Aleinu va'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
May be seated, turning back in our prayer books to page 38, Lecha Dodi.
Shamor b'zachor v'dibor echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litilah. Likra Shabbat lechoven elcha, ki hi mekol habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshava techilah. בשלום עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי כלה, בואי כלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, ונשמה נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, ונשמת נקבלה.
Pausing at this time, we offer condolences of the congregation to members of our community who have been bereaved during the past week. This week to the family of the late Roman Reiterman and to the family of the late Michael Stone. Join together, bottom of page 41, traditional Friday evening greeting for mourners. Hamakom yenachem etchem b'tok sha'ar avelei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the Holy One comforts Israel, grant you solace in your bereavement. And we'll remain standing, turning to page 50 for Baruch Hu.
Barechu et Adonai Hamavolach.
Baruch Adonai, Elam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevolach Leolam Va'ed.
May be seated. On page 51, continuing with responsive reading. Page 51. Rebecca Neal, come up. Yeah.
O Lord, your word brings on the evening twilight. The heavens proclaim your glory.
And we, your creatures on earth, behold in wonder your endless miracles.
Help us to recognize your guiding power in distant galaxies and in our own souls.
Teach us
Teach
your
us your
laws of righteousness and love, so that your Spirit may govern our lives.
Source of peace, bless our worship. May our meditations find favor in your sight.
May our gratitude for your wonders lead us in love to your service.
So that, like the changing seasons, the days, the nights, our lives too, will proclaim your glory. Amen.
Amen. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב על אביב. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו בהולך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם וליל. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
May be seated, continuing page 56, 57.
והיה עם שמו את
And on page 57, middle of the page, reading together. Therefore, keep these words of mine in your heart and in your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your arm. Let them be a reminder above your eyes. Teach them to your children, speaking of them when you are at home and when you are away, when you lie down at night and when you rise up in the morning. Write them upon the doorposts of your homes, upon your gates. Thus your days, the days of your children, be multiplied on the land, which the Lord promised to your ancestors, for as long as the heavens remain over the earth. Page 58, 59.
ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור דבר בני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 60, toward the middle of that page.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל, לכנו שירה ושמחה רבה וימלאו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, נותקי הים לפני משה. זה אלי אנו ואמרו, זה אלי אנו ואמרו. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Turning to page 63, we'll continue with responsive reading.
Help us, O Lord, to lie down in peace, but teach us that peace means more than quiet. Grant us the peace that comes from honest dealing, so that no fear of discovery will haunt our sleep. Liberate us from enslaving habits which disturb us and give us no rest. May we so live that we can face the world with serenity and with grace. May we lie down in peace tonight and awaken tomorrow to a richer and fuller life.
Amen. Perfect timing. We'll turn to page 62, and this evening we're going to hear the Hashki Venu in its entirety to a melody that I composed.
Ashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, vehamidenu malkeinu lechayim. Ufrozalenu sukat shlomecha, vetaknenu be'etza tova, milvanecha vehoshienu leman shemecha. Vehagen badenu, vehasem mehalenu, oyev dever, vecherev, verahav, veyagon, vehaser satan, milvanenu, umeacharenu. Ufzel knafecha tasirenu, ki el shomrenu umotzilenu ata, ki el melech chanun, chanun v'rachum ata. Ushemor tzeitenu, uvoenu lechaim, ushalom me'ata v'ad olam. Ufros oleinu, Saka
on page 64.
Thank you, Rachel King Rudo.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינחת. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמא דברה קילותי וימליך מלכותי, וחיי כל נביאו מכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מברך לעולם עולם מעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהלל 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 שמי דקודשא בריך לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונקמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו amen.
Evening Amidah for Shabbos begins on page 69 and is recited quietly. Quiet prayer beginning page 69.
Page 74.
שלום רב על ישראל עמך, על כל יושבי תבל תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום, כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת וכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב.
Page 80.
La 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 la. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל טבעם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. La 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 la. Ivo Shabbat mikol melakto asher bara Elohim na'aso. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, בונה שמיים וארץ. מגן אבות בדברו, מקיים מתים במאמרו. האל הקדוש שאין כמוהו, המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו, כי בם רצה להניח להם, כי בם רצה להניח להם. לפניו נעבוד וליריו הפקד, ונודה לשמו בכל יום תמיד, ואין הברכות. אל ההודעות אדון השלום, מקדש השבת ומברך שביעי, ומניח בקדושה, לעמד ושני עונג. Galmadi v'dakilote v'amnik malchote v'chai kol nub'yamei kol nub'chai kol be'Yisrael b'agalav izman kari ve'imeru. Amen. Yehesh me'rabam me'barak le'olam olal me'amaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitvoa v'yishoma v'yitnaseh v'yitadav v'yitalev v'yitala shemei dekudisha v'rekhu le'el amin kol b'kata v'shilata tush b'kata v'nechamata damiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen. Titkabal tzalot odovad hon kol Yisrael kadam v'hon v'shamai ve'imeru. Amen. Yehesh lama rabba v'shamai v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mama v'hu yaseh shalom עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן.
Matthew Lamb, who tomorrow will celebrate his bar mitzvah, comes forward to lead the congregation in the Friday night Kiddush. Rising here in the Gorn Chapel, those joining us online tonight, encourage you to take up a libation of your choice and rise with us. Kiddush is on page 90.
Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzevanu v'shabbat kodro b'ahava Uratzon hinhilanu zikaron lema'aseh bereshit ki hu yom tehila lemikrai kodesh zeher litziat mitzrayim
Kivanu v'chata ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon kinekazanu.
Baruch et Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
Great job.
You're not driving tonight, are you?
Great job. Good work.
you.
You may be seated.
Matthew, that was some kiddish. Great job. So some of you, I was excited to come around and. So some of you may have known, others probably don't, that I have spent pretty much all week long in the emergency room and in the hospital with my dad, who on sort of at the break, thank God he's okay, the break of dawn on Tuesday said I need to go to the ER. So I wanted to share with you something that happened, and again, my dad is okay. He came out, was discharged this afternoon, thank God. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you is a story of what happened, and you'll soon see why. So it was the break of dawn on Tuesday when Dad said he needed to get to the ER. We called the doctor. His doctor said, there's a really long wait right now at Sinai, so he directed us to another hospital. So we went down to the other hospital, and I would say we were waiting for a few hours, and you sort of do that thing where you look around the emergency room and you see who else is there, and there's like some sort of like connection that happens between you even when no words are exchanged. So I looked around the room and I saw, one man who was there with his son. I saw another woman who had arrived around the same, well, she was there at the same time as we were, and she was there probably somewhere in her, I would say, mid-70s, and she seemed to be there with her mom. And we were there with a whole room of other people. So anyway, a couple hours goes by. Eventually, we get into an emergency room, which I hear is a big deal because, according to the nurse who was with us, the wait time was averaging about 16 to 18 hours before you could get into a room there. So we made good time. Anyway, fast forward, again, this was break of dawn, fast forward, at this time, it's about, I don't know, it's like mid-afternoon, probably around 3 o'clock. And I'm in the elevator going to get a cup of tea, and I see the two people that I had mentioned earlier, the man who was there seemingly with his son, and the woman who was there seemingly with her mom. And so we're all riding the elevator together, and I said, it's interesting because I remember seeing you from early morning. How is your son and how is your mother? And so the man looked at me and he said, my son he just got in, he seems to be doing okay. And the woman said, we're still in the waiting room, but we didn't arrive at the same time as you. We actually got here last night. And then she said, we left the house at 7:30 last night. We came from the Eastern Shore. And she said, and we got here at 9, and then we waited through the night, and we just got into a room. So she was about 18 hours. So I said to her, how is your mother doing? And she said, well, she actually has dementia, and she fell, and it was a couple of days before anyone found her. Right, this is like every person who lives alone's worst nightmare. So I'm gonna stop right here in my Friday night sermon and do a PSA, which is that there is an Apple Watch, Sandy and Eileen both have it, that sends for help if you have fallen. And there are also these necklaces that you can wear that you can push a button so you never have to stay on the floor if you've fallen and wait for help. If you need help, call us and we will help to connect you. Okay, I'm going back to the sermon. So anyway, as it turns out, again, how is your mother? And she said to me, the woman that I'm with isn't my mother. She said, I actually have a company that provides support to people who are aging, and she doesn't have a family member in the world. And so I promised her, before she had dementia to this degree, that I would be there for her in case she ever needed someone. And so here I am, 18 hours later, sitting in the ER. So I, of course, Rafi's in the back of the room, but I, of course, said, like, if you need to go home and shower, here's my address. My husband is home, he'll feed you, we can, take a shower, come back. Anyway, but she said, I can't leave. I gave her my word. So the parsha that we read today is the parsha of Vayera, and it starts off with Abraham, and he's sitting in the tent, and 3 angels come his way, but he doesn't know that they're angels. He thinks they are strangers, strange men, and he invites them in even though he's healing because he's just had his adult circumcision, and he's healing in the tent, and he sees these men, and he tries to take care of them. As it turns out, these men really aren't men, they're actually angels, and one of the things that Judaism says about angels is that they have one purpose, just one purpose in their lives. One of those angels' purpose was to come and to deliver the news to Abraham and Sarah that they were going to have a child, even though they were in their well-advanced ages. Another one of their purposes was to get Abraham to the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. Every angel has one purpose. And as I looked at this woman in the emergency room, I couldn't help but think that it was so clear to me that she was an angel with this purpose. And so it was a week of ups and downs, but it just warmed my heart to know that there was someone out there who was honoring her promise and who was fulfilling her purpose. And so I left this week feeling like I met an angel. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Cantor. before we start, exhale. I have something very special today. It's a bouquet that I just made of lollipops because, I don't know, maybe a few weeks ago, a very special guy in my life and our community's life named Isaac invited me to his birthday party. And I couldn't come to his birthday party, but I asked him if he would come to shul because he loves coming to shul. And I asked if he would come to shul on a Friday night and let us celebrate him. So I'm pretty sure that Isaac's a little sad that we're not in the Berman Rubin tonight. He thinks the chairs are way better in there because they rock. But I'm wondering, Isaac, if you'll come up and get this birthday bouquet for me. And then maybe you can help the cantor lead Aleinu while you're here. And I'm going to say on behalf of all of us, Isaac, happy, happy birthday.
Yom Holedet Sameach, Yom Holedet Sameach, Yom Holedet Sameach, Yom Holedet Sameach.
Perfect. Happy birthday, Isaac, and many more. You're welcome. Is he 5? Isaac is 5.
5, wow.
And he had cookies and cream ice cream for his birthday. We're going to rise, turning to page 118 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כאויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגול עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נטע שמיים ויוצר הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, השמיים ממעל, מעל הארץ ועל הארץ, מתחת אין עוד. על כן כתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Pausing now, we'll remember with reverence the arch sites of our beloved departed, observed sundown this evening till sundown tomorrow evening, 18th day of Cheshvan. Jerome Aronin, Mr. Norman Benny, Arnold Besser, Myra Brotman, Seymour Cohen, Bernard Davidson, Belle Marilyn Fine, Irving Gibbon, Charles W. Heyman, Samuel Hockman, Irvin Levinson, Bernard Melman, and Leona Schwab, and Sarah Wolf. Zecher Tzadik Livracha. May their righteous memories continue to bring blessing into all of our lives. Together saying to that, Amen. And in solemn testimony to that unbroken chain of faith that does link us door by door, one generation to the next, those in mourning, those observing yahrzeit, if you'll please rise. Mourner's Kaddish, page 124. 124, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon v'yomechon v'chay. V'gala v'zman karib. Yehesh
Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam v'amei almaya.
Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu.
Riku.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nachemata damiran v'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imrumav huya aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Schedule of services for the remainder of the weekend. Tomorrow morning, Shacharit services beginning at 10 o'clock. Special service tomorrow morning, Founders Shabbat. A lot of wonderful surprises in store, so I hope you'll join us for services tomorrow morning. And an absolutely fabulous Kiddush. Is that right? Not to be underestimated. As always, Torah study class meets 9 a.m. Shabbos morning via Zoom. 10 a.m. services, and then tomorrow evening, 4:45. Mincha Marav Havdalah services from Matthew's Bar Mitzvah. Sunday services in the morning, 9:15, and Sunday evening online only 5:30 p.m. And we'll conclude singing tonight, Shalom Aleichem, on page 16.
Before we conclude, I'd just like to thank the members of the Bethel Choir for being here this evening and singing with us. Special thanks to Rachel Sippy King-Rudo for her beautiful solo, and for our accompanist, the formidable Mrs. King, and Adrik Asimov, I would say, but Asisak. Asimov works too. We're going to sing Shalom Aleichem to a tune that has to do with building a sanctuary, which is what this Founders Shabbat is all about.
Shalom Aleichem, Malkei Hasharet, Malkei Elyon, Mimelech, Malkei Hamlachim, Akadosh, Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malkei HaShalom, Malkei Elyon, Mimelech, Malkei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, Baruchuni Leshalom, Malkei HaShalom, Malkei Elyon, Mimelech, Malkei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu, Seitchem Leshalom, Malkei HaShalom, Malkei Elyon, Mimelech, Malkei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You have built us a sanctuary, 75 years going strong. May our founders be remembered as we thank you with our song. Shabbat Shalom.